You know what's crazy? For a show that barely runs a handful of episodes, DTF St. Louis somehow managed to create one of the most uncomfortable, emotionally messy, and psychologically confusing mysteries we've seen in a long time. And now, with the finale just hours away, everything comes down to one question. Not what happened, not how it happened, but why. Because the real mystery of Floyd's death isn't just about who killed him, it's about who broke him first. And that changes everything. Let's start with something most people are missing. From episode 1, Floyd was never written as a mystery victim. He was written as a man slowly collapsing in real time. Every interaction he has with Carol, with Clark, even with Richard, isn't building toward a crime. It's building toward a psychological breaking point. Think about it. Floyd isn't just lonely, he's desperate. There's a difference. Lonely people cope, desperate people cling, and Floyd clings to anything that makes him feel seen, even if it's fake, humiliating, or clearly falling apart. That's where Tiger Tiger comes in. Now, here's where the show gets quietly disturbing, because Tiger Tiger isn't just a catfish situation. It's not just a fake profile. It's emotional manipulation disguised as kindness. Clark didn't just create a profile, he created hope, and not just any hope, the kind of hope that Floyd had already lost in real life. And that's important because once someone like Floyd tastes that again, taking it away doesn't just hurt, it destroys them. So when Floyd's out the truth, or even just begins to suspect it, something shifts. And episode 6 makes this very clear without saying it directly. Floyd starts acting different. Not louder, not angrier, just quieter, more resolved. That kind of silence, that's not confusion, that's acceptance. Which brings us to the biggest theory going into the finale. What if no one actually killed Floyd? What if the entire murder mystery is a misdirection and the real story is about a man who reached his limit? Now, let's be honest. On the surface, this sounds like the easy answer. Suicide theory, case closed. But here's the thing. The show doesn't treat it like an easy answer. It treats it like a shared responsibility. Because if Floyd did take his own life, then every single character becomes part of that outcome. And the writing has been setting this up perfectly. Let's talk about Carol, because she's the character everyone keeps pointing at, and for good reason. She's unpredictable, she's emotionally distant. And episode 5 dropping that quiet bomb about her past conviction, that wasn't random. That was the show telling you, pay attention to what she's capable of. But here's where the theory gets more interesting. Carol doesn't need to kill Floyd to be responsible for his death. She just needs to benefit from it. And this is where the insurance angle becomes huge, because the show didn't spend time building that detail for nothing. Life insurance doesn't pay out in cases of suicide. That's not just a legal detail. That's a motive generator. So if Floyd did overdose on medication and Carol knew it, then suddenly her role shifts, not as the killer, but as the person who rewrote the narrative. Think about the recumbent bike detail. It's such a weird, specific clue. And the show keeps bringing it up just enough to make you uncomfortable. Why? Because it suggests staging, movement, interference. Someone was there after Floyd died. And if Carol was that person, then everything clicks into place. She doesn't panic. She doesn't call for help. She adjusts the scene because in her mind, this isn't about morality anymore. It's about survival, financial survival, emotional survival, maybe even control. And here's the uncomfortable truth the show is hinting at. Carol didn't break Floyd in one moment. She did it slowly, over years, through rejection, through distance, through making him feel like he was never enough. But she wasn't alone, because Clark's role in this is just as damaging, if not worse. Clark is the kind of character that people underestimate. He doesn't explode. He doesn't threaten. He influences, quietly, subtly. And the Tiger Tiger situation proves that, because what he did wasn't just deceptive, it was cruel. Not intentionally maybe, but impact matters more than intention. He gave Floyd something he knew wasn't real. He let it grow, he let Floyd believe in it, and then, whether he meant to or not, he let it collapse. That kind of emotional whiplash, for someone already fragile, that's devastating. And here's where a darker theory comes in. What if Clark didn't expect Floyd to die, but also didn't care enough to stop it? What if he saw the damage happening and chose not to intervene? Because that's the kind of moral gray area this show lives in. No clear villains, just people making selfish choices. Now let's talk about Floyd's final moments, because this is where everything converges. If the suicide theory is true, then Floyd's death wasn't impulsive. It was calculated, not in a cold, strategic way, but in a "I've had enough" kind of way. The medication matters here. The show made sure we knew about it. Clark provided it, Floyd had access to it, and there were clear warnings about its effects, especially on his heart. So if Floyd took more than he should have, then it wasn't accidental. It was intentional, a quiet decision, one that no one saw coming because no one was really looking at him. And that's the tragedy. Not that he died, but that he disappeared emotionally long before that. Now, here's the twist that could change everything in the finale, and this is the part that could make or break the entire show. What if the truth isn't revealed through evidence, but through perspective? What if the finale doesn't give us a clean answer, but instead shows us multiple versions of what happened? Carol's version, Clark's version, maybe even Richard's version. Because think about it. Each of them experienced Floyd differently. Each of them contributed to his state in different ways. So what if the show is less interested in who killed Floyd and more interested in showing how everyone remembers him? That would completely flip the narrative, because instead of solving a crime, we'd be watching people justify their guilt. And that ties back to the core theme of the show, not mystery, not romance, not even deception, but accountability. Who is responsible when someone breaks? Is it the person who delivers the final blow, or the people who chipped away at them over time? That's the question DTF St. Louis has been asking from the very beginning, and the finale has one job: not to give us an answer, but to make us uncomfortable with whatever answer we get. So here's the most realistic prediction going into episode 7. Floyd likely wasn't murdered in the traditional sense. He likely took his own life. But the show will refuse to let the other characters off the hook. Carol may have staged the scene, Clark may have pushed him emotionally, Richard may have been the only one who cared, but too late. And in the end, no one walks away clean. Because the real twist isn't that Floyd died, it's that everyone played a part in why he did. And if the finale actually leans into that, instead of giving us a simple "it was this person" reveal, then DTF St. Lewis won't just end as a mystery series. It'll end as something much deeper, something harder to forget. Because the scariest stories aren't about killers. They're about people who didn't realize they were destroying someone until it was already too late. And that's why this finale matters. Not for the answer, but for what it says about everyone involved. So when you watch episode 7, don't just look for clues. Look for regret. Look for hesitation. Look for the moment each character realizes they might have been more responsible than they thought, because that's where the real story ends. Not with Floyd, but with the people who have to live with what happened to him. And trust me, that's going to hit way harder than any killer reveal ever could.